my name is Irene. I'd like to welcome you to my channel. I talk about opinions on books and hopefully I can give you a few good recommendations. Before I get started, I would just like to ask you to please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. So for this video, I kind of created my own tag. I don't know if I want to call it a tag because I don't expect anyone else to do it, but most of the questions are about books and book-related questions that kind of fit the season, and then at the end is kind of talking about the end of October and how it went and things like that. So I'm just gonna get started and see if this works out, because I never really done anything like this where I created my own questions, but we'll just see how it goes. The first question I created is favorite monster in a book. So for this one I chose the Goblin King from Wintersong. He is the Goblin King, and what happens in this story is this girl has had this friendship with the Goblin King. He goes by many names, but that's like I think the main one, and so she makes this friendship with him when she's little. But then as she grows older, it seems to become more of a myth and people don't believe he's real, and she doesn't know if she believes he's real. And then he kidnaps her sister and she goes down to save him. And I wouldn't consider him a typical monster that you would in other books, but he is considered a monster to her because one of the most popular lines from this book is, "You are the monster I claim." And it's a romance, and I love him. He has so many flaws. He's a very flawed character, just as a monster should be. He's scary, he's powerful, he has control, and he is the leader of the underground. And I love that, and I think this is a very unique story, and it does have a morally great characters in it. And I think that this is the first book I've read with a morally great character like that. Actually, that's probably not true. Harry Potter has a few morally great, but I think that he really is a good monster and a good character with many layers. Next question is favorite witch in a book. So for this one I chose Luna Lovegood. I realized after I made that question that I really have not read that many books with witches. I've read many books with magic and things like that, but not specifically witches. Like, they didn't call themselves witches, some of my favorite characters that can do magic. But Luna Lovegood is an all-time favorite. She is a witch from Harry Potter. She is very whimsical and weird, but in all the best ways, and I think she is talented when it comes to doing magic. She just kind of isn't looked at as a good witch. She's more looked at as like a weird person, but I think she has great powers and she has her own way of doing things, and I really like that. Question number 3, I said for this one, book where the moon is important, and the reason I said moon is because I really connect the moon, the full moon, with Halloween, because I'm pretty sure every year, well, every end of the month I think there's the full moon, but I'm pretty sure every October 31st there's a full moon, or I'm not 100% sure, but I think that. So I really connect October and things like that with the moon. So for this one I chose Life as We Knew It, which is kind of I don't know how to say the word, apocalypse. It's an apocalypse setting. Basically the moon gets too close to the earth and it messes up literally everything. And this is a book with diary entries, and I think that it is so realistic to how it would happen if a situation like this happened. You know what I mean? I feel like if the moon got close to the earth, I feel like this is exactly how humanity would react and exactly how the earth would react. And that's what I really like about it. And also, the weather gets all messed up and it's really snowy and it's dangerous, and that also makes it kind of perfect to read in October. But I think that this is the perfect book where the moon is a major importance, and I love that about this story. Question number 4, books, monsters are good and people are bad. This one I also had a hard time coming up with. You know, I created a question, but still, there's not many books where monsters are seen as good and people are bad. So the book I chose for this question is A Court of Thorns and Roses. So in the beginning, the humans are looked at as good and the fairies are looked up as bad. And the fairies are what I'm considering monsters. Although it's hard to say exactly what a monster is. But anyway, but then she gets kidnapped by the fairies, which happens in the beginning. It's in the synopsis, it's not a spoiler. But she gets kidnapped by the fairies, and then they believe that the fairies are good and the people are bad. So that's why I came up with this one for this question, because throughout the book and throughout this series as it goes on, humans are more looked at as the bad guys and the fairies don't. It's kind of, it depends really, but there's no really good humans in the stories, I think. Yeah, there's no good humans really. They all kind of suck, and the fairies also kind of suck, but some of them are good. So, anyway, that is what I did for this question. Next one I chose is A Book Where Nature is Dying, which is perfect for fall. For this one, there's a couple different options I could have picked, but I picked Mistborn. So nature isn't dying in this book, but it's already dead. So I thought that was kind of perfect. So nature has died, and there's no green grass, there's no vegetation. It's in a world where the bad guy won, and these group try to figure out how to kill, I wouldn't say kill him off, but like try to overpower him. But anyway, yeah, the nature is dead in this, and ash is falling from the sky, and it is not good. So I think this is perfect for the question. Number 6, a book that starts out sweet but turns into a trick. For this one, I chose Heartless. So in the beginning of this book, it is a really sweet story. So this is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, but not of Alice in Wonderland, of the Queen of Hearts and how she got where she was, which was great. I love this so much. But anyway, it starts off sweet, where it's following a woman named Catherine. She wants to own this bakery, and she has sort of a kind of a relationship, and where she meets someone, Jess, which I love Jess, and there's kind of a romance, but then she ends up stuck in this betrothal to the king. So it, in the beginning, seems so sweet. Seems kind of romance, there's a lot of problems, but you know, but then in the end, I'm not going to say what the ending is, but the end is extremely dark. It takes a complete twist, which you kind of would expect considering what it's based off of, but it does kind of feel like a complete turnaround of events. It is dark, it's twisted, the story has a completely different vibe. So that is why I picked this one for this question. Number 7, a book where someone disguises them as someone else. I created this question because you know, Halloween, trick-or-treating, like, but pretending to be someone else, you know. So I'm not going to say who the character in this story, in The Madman's Daughter, who disguises himself as someone else, or what exactly the situation is, because it is an extreme spoiler, but it is so good, because you have no idea what's going on, you have no idea anything. So this is a perfect book for that question. I'm not going to say why, but it's really unexpected. Question number 8. How is your spooky TBR going? So, I decided to do Booktober this month, so I created a list of books that I wanted to read. I'm not going to go over every single one, but it is going pretty well. I feel like each of the books I'm reading starts off really good and then kind of gets boring and goes off course in the middle. They're all, I'm pretty sure, are in the genre of horror. Nothing has been 5 stars yet. I switched around one of the things on my TBR because I wasn't enjoying it, so I DNF'd it. Question number 9. Favorite spooky movie and TV show. I chose this one. because I thought it would be fun to also mention shows and stuff, because I love watching that kind of stuff during this time of year. So favorite movie, Silence of the Lambs. It is very dark and twisted, and it has a lot of cannibalism, and it's dark. It's real dark, but it's a psychological thriller or horror, and it's so good. That's my favorite type of scary book or type of movie is psychological thriller. And for shows, I picked The Adventures of Sabrina. And I did not watch this month, so I've watched Silence of the Lambs this month, but I did not watch that one, and I think it would have been perfect for Halloween. It is about this girl who is a witch, and she does not want to tell her friends and things like that, and it gets crazy. This is the season after, I think there's 3 seasons, it just gets crazier and more dark stuff happens, and you don't expect it to be as dark as it is. But yeah, both of these I would not watch if you are young, but would wait till you're a bit older. More Silence of Lambs than The Adventures of Sabrina. Question number 10, Halloween things you did this month. So far I haven't done that much. Luckily I do have Halloween off, which I'm super excited for. But I went to the haunted house already with my boyfriend and his friends, and that was a lot of fun. I love going to at least one haunted house this time of year, and I've been watching Halloween movies on Disney Plus. I already watched Twitches and all the Halloween towns, and I am trying to watch more scary movies. After I finish Carrie and Dracula, the books, I'm going to watch movies for them, at least if I have time. But anyway, that is how my Halloween is going, and those are some questions I came up with for this season. I hope you enjoyed. I have absolutely no clue what I'm going to name this video, but it was fun to create. Please like and subscribe. I post every single Thursday, and I will see you next time. Bye!